Hello Libra! Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. Website is here on the side, schifferbooks.com. Feel free to freeze frame and get the spelling of that if you would so like it. Supportive Oracle Cards. You Are Clairvoyant Oracle Cards by Belinda Grace. Illustrations by Elaine Marzin. Website on the back is rockpoolpublishing.com.au. A as an apple, U as an umbrella. Okay. What do we have for Libra? What's this for? Okay. I like how this is starting. I like how this is ending. Openness? Openness. Let's see where that's going. 10 of Cups and asking for help. No, I feel like somebody asked you for help. And the way I keep seeing this play out is like somebody thrived with their connection with you. However this came together, you were looking out for somebody else. Whether you should have been or not, like if this is a work thing, it could have been like somebody, like it could have been a manager of yours. You could have been the manager. Could have been a coworker. If it's a business thing, it could be a friendship. It's not likely it was family, but it could be. Take it with a grain of salt. Somebody needed help, and you helped them. Did they realize they needed help? There's a little bit more. There's something I'm missing on that. Definitely something I'm missing there. 8 of Swords and the Star card. Somebody who I feel like you knew was more capable than they realized. For whatever reason, maybe it was a confidence problem. Because they were stronger than they knew. They were able to do more than they realized. And you kind of had to highlight that. You had to like show them and point out like, hey, I'm not going to solve your problems. I'm going to help you solve your own problems. And you showed them how to solve their own problems. And you're like, you got the answers. You just got to have more confidence and think about things. Give yourself a minute. Pull it back. Let's think about this. You do know what to do if you give yourself a chance. I feel like you boosted somebody's confidence. You did really good with that. You taught them how to take care of themselves. And you're like, listen, you can do this. You just got to slow down. Give yourself a chance to think it out. You do have the answers. There's success here. The current energy, I feel this is the current energy for this reading anyway. And, okay. Success, a lot of success. It feels like they were doing really good. You did everything you could to show them how to help themselves. There's something up with this. Because I feel like this person has gotten enough confidence to either move on or you have encouraged them that it's time for them to go to the next level. Wherever this is that they're going, I don't think you're following them. It's kind of like, I've done everything I can to help you. I've shown you how to do things. You solve your own problems. And I've told you what I can to help you, get that pattern in place to where you can solve your own problems. This is somebody who's self-sufficient. Okay. They're moving on from you. They're moving on from you. The world is coming in. The open door here. Openness, open door. It's time for them to go forward and to kind of, do things on their own. And I feel like as they're walking away, I have a lot of confidence in them. And it makes sense to me why you do. Like, I see where this is going. That's the problem. I do. It's not. Yeah, no, this is good. All right, so here, this is not really bad. But you know what? There's something with this person. This may sound bad, but don't shoot the messenger. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Just it's a general read. They need more accountability is what I'm getting. While they had you there to coach them through things, it's like you were the safety net. They might have relied on you to remind them. They might have relied on you to like just make sure things were looking right, and if they weren't looking right, to like give them like, hey, what are you doing? Like, hey, what's going on there? Like, are we slowing down? Are we thinking? Are we doing things the way we should? I know I hope it doesn't sound super rude, but it probably does sound rude the way I'm saying it. They need more accountability, and as they step out on their own, I feel like they're looking for somebody else to take your spot for them, which is not okay. There's something about accountability here. They need to realize that they need to be more accountable for their own situation. And life is going to be a little rough for them for a minute. The Three of Swords comes in, but I feel like when I see Kuan Yin, am I saying that right? Yeah. Kuan Yin comes in with the Three of Swords. You're gonna be aware of this. Life is going to get a little brutal for them, but with Kuan Yin here, it's nothing that's going to completely devastate them and destroy them totally. These things are coming forward to teach them accountability. It's clear that they can do these things. But it's like, I feel like they got really used to you being their safety net. And maybe you didn't realize that you were giving them a heads, or you were checking in with them, and when you checked in with them, they would kind of pull themselves together and be like, okay, Libra's going to ask me about this and that, so I better have this ready so that I can show Libra that I was doing well. So it's almost like you were a trigger for them to do what they needed to do. You were a trigger for them to like really stop, slow down, think it out, and make the right decision. When you're not there, that trigger's not there, and they're not being accountable for their own actions as much as they need to. So life is going to get a little brutal for them, because they're looking to find somebody else to play that trigger for them, somebody else to do that role, and that's not going to happen here. But again, with Kuan Yin here, it's going to get brutal, but it's not going to wipe them out. Everything's going to be fixable. Everything's going to be healable. It's kind of like that car accident that somebody gets into, and they look really messed up, and it really makes you nervous, but a year goes by, and they're back at 100%. They can do just as much as they did before. It just was a really rough year and a really scary year, if that makes sense. That's what I'm getting. This is going to help them do what they need to do. This is going to bring them into alignment with who they need to be that self-sufficient, accountable, strong person that can help others and who can pay it forward. You help them. You showed them how to do things. You kind of give them some heads up. They're going to pass that information along. They're going to help others the same way. This is what it takes for that to really lock in, for them to be truly self-sufficient. That's what I'm getting from this anyway. Are you going to work with... Is this person going to come back into your life later? No. So what is this for Libra? This person, I don't see this person coming back, but somebody else is coming in. Page of Swords coming in with the Star card again. You got another one coming in. You got a similar pattern coming in. The next one coming in, I feel like they're just trying to highlight what happened with the last one. It did work out, but I feel like it may have been really stressful because you probably knew what was going on. You just couldn't do anything about it. It did work out very well in the end, but there was a time period there that made you extremely nervous, and you really didn't enjoy watching that process play out. the reason this is coming forward is kind of like, realize that you might be playing, you're teaching people the way you need to. That's great, but the trigger thing, you want to be aware of people who are relying on you to be a trigger to do what they need to do. So you want to start finding ways to step back, not reminding people, and just seeing if they start reminding themselves. Because if you can do that, step back, not remind them, and then like if it starts falling apart, going, you need to remember this beforehand. These other things need to be your trigger. I can't be your trigger because I won't always be there. Libra won't always be there. You got to learn ways to trigger yourself to remember these things. So if you kind of start letting people fall a little bit, I know that may sound brutal, maybe it even sounds mean, I don't mean for it to, but it's kind of like if they can learn to create their own triggers and not rely on people to be their triggers, to remind themselves to have accountability, then I feel like the next one doesn't have to have the same path that the last one did. This can go differently with the next one. I feel like, I don't know, I have a feeling that just the fact that I pointed it out, you'll find a better way to do it anyway, so maybe that's not something I need to worry about. Once you see it, you'll be like, all right, that we're not going to do that again. You'll find a different way to play it out, so that way they'll learn that accountability before they're off on their own. So I feel like that's the highlight for this. There's another one coming forward, same type of energy, same type of motives. I feel like you're going to play the trigger. If you let it play out the same way, you'll be the trigger again. And they'll be great and they'll be fine until they don't have you to remind them. And then they're going to have hard times. They'll still make it through it, but I feel like you'd prefer they didn't do it that way. So teaching that accountability in a different way, to where you kind of like, all right, I got to let them fall on their face a couple times. I hate doing it. I hate it, but I need to do it. That way, if they fall, I can make sure they don't fall too far. And I can kind of try to help them find different ways to remind themselves. They have to find their own accountability. There's another one coming in. That's the point. That is totally the point. Because there's only a certain amount of time where you're able to have an influence. And I feel like while you still have that influence, as long as you can see the angle here, the way it played out, and just a little extra you have to kind of help them develop, you'll be fine. I feel like you'll figure it out. I don't really have any worries about that. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.